Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm just going to freestyle it like I always do in regards to the LA Lakers. Still got a lot of pride about my team, even though I've been a little disappointed, or a lot disappointed, very disappointed. But we're still very much in playing tournament range. And if the Golden State Warriors happen to beat the Blazers, then unfortunately we're going to be in the 7th seed, and that's what'll be locked up. But if they happen to win, if the Blazers win that game, then we can skip the play-in tournament, get that week of rest that we really need, and then ultimately probably play like the Kings. I think that'll probably be the Kings, it looks like. um to be honest with you, this is my God's honest truth right now. I kind of want the 7th seed more so than I want the 6th seed, based on you playing the first round. My favorite path was a path that everybody's trying to avoid. I want Phoenix first, Denver second. I actually think Phoenix is really shallow. We just beat their bench yesterday. I thought they put up a really good fight. Hopefully Bismack Biyombo will be healthy, because he went down with the knee. From what I understand, he's going to miss probably some games, but it's not the end of the world from what I understand, so that's good news. But nevertheless, looking at their team, I'd rather see them in the first round, get them over with. And then if you look at them as the best team, then you realize you probably don't have anybody better than them after them. You know what I mean? Now, some would say, well, why you want to play the best team first? You want to kind of get your groove going and see what happens. But my thing is, we're an older squad, and I just kind of want to get that matchup out of the way, just based on the fact you're getting worn down. If I'm gonna get hit with if there's any strategy in the playoffs that I would rather have with an older team, is give me my toughest opponent first and last, of course, because in the finals you'd expect the best opponent would be coming out of the East. But give me my best punch now, because if I have to go through a war with the Kings and that goes 6 games, I'm already beat up. Now I got to run to Phoenix now. That's, they're going to probably get more out of me. I'm probably more worn down from that young matchup with the Kings or the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, if I run into the Phoenix Suns, we're more likely to be each other's speed. They got an older KD, older Chris Paul, lesser talent on their bench. It gives me more of what I think kind of balances things out, so that either one of these two teams should want to face our older team first, is my opinion. And then, like I said, for me, I look at the Denver Nuggets and I say, that's a team I wish I could match up with regardless. I want them. So if I catch them in the second round, I just look at that as a softer second round based on the paths that may be possible. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now as a Laker fan. I wanted the 5th seed. That's not possible anymore. But we can still get that 6th seed, and I'm not so sure I really want that for the matchups. Now, for the rest, for the security of not having a one-and-done situation, that is obviously what we should want. Hopefully, if the Blazers can win the game, we'll find that being the case. But I just don't think that's likely, man. I think Golden State is going to obviously cruise to an easy win against the B team of the Blazers. Shaedon Sharpe will probably have a nice game or something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they might even sit him. That's how tanky the Blazers are right now. So yeah, that's the easy win for the Golden State Warriors, even if they run their bench. But nevertheless, Lakers, we're looking at a situation where we got some players who are low-key playing well, very well, and are not necessarily being featured. A guy by the name of Rui Hachimura, I don't think he's had a bad game in about 5 games. No matter what the level of minutes or feature he's been receiving, he's done great things with the minutes and great things on both sides. So at this point, I think he needs to be given more focus. Yesterday we focused in on Malik Beasley. I think he did good things with that. I think we gave a little more shine to D'Angelo Russell, and he definitely showed us why we can still rely upon him to run scores up in the 4th quarter, which I think is a great thing. And I don't think we've seen all that he can do for us, because when we talk about anxiety arena, that's one person I know that does not affect at all. He's not of that mindset, and that's what I like about D'Lo. I can legitimately say that, and I think that about Austin too. But it's a few guys on our team that I think can actually play the Staples Center and feel confident every night, and those two are definitely two that I know that for a fact. They don't find themselves in any type of cowering whatsoever, and so we need to kind of lean in on the guys who have that confidence. I really believe that. But at the same time, it's like I think Darvin is pushing buttons that he believes in, and so you just got to let things play itself out. If we end up winning the championship, everybody's going to say Darvin was the greatest coach after all, because he pressed the right buttons And so it's just like, all right, I don't like what I see. I don't trust what I see, but I know that there are new ways to win. So maybe leaning in on Malik Beasley keeps everybody else healthy. Maybe making him the best focus of what it is we're doing that can have a reverse effect that brings the most out of everybody else. Stranger things have happened. I just don't see it. What I do see is a bunch of stuff I've already complained about in regards to rebounding and being able to defend the rim. Now, I did like that we have used Mo Bamba in at least one possession where we were able to see what his rim protection can be. We saw it yesterday, just one possession. He was very patient, waited to see the ball, swatted it away. That type of patience shows me a certain level of thinking, intellect that I like to lean on. And see, that's the thing. I don't think we have any real IQ issues with our players. Not really. Every once in a while, Dennis Schroeder would throw the ball away in some ways and make you scratch your head, stuff like that. But our team's intelligent. So we just need to put them on the floor to do things that lean into their strengths, and they will beat the players in front of them in a lot of cases together. And that's what I want to say. Together is the word. I complained a great deal about people walking up into jump shots without the ball touching other people's hands. That is something I think can really, really hurt this continuity-based group. It's a continuity-based group. I use the word continuity a lot, but what that means to me is coming together. People can come together, usually with the pass. Guys who work together, usually playmaking off one another. That's what it means to me. I think we have a group of guys that if we put them in positions to run plays together every single time, they will get the most out of every single possession. But if we walk into jump shots, particularly with our superstars, it's a deflating thing. Even if it can help us in some, magical way on the court that I just don't understand with my dumb basketball mind. Maybe there's something to being able to shoot 3 for 10 with LeBron James that ultimately makes it so that the floor is spaced just perfectly so that we can attack right at the perfect time. I don't know what the hell it is, right? But at the same time, to me, it just seems like there's something else to look at in regards to having that perfect idea. And that is looking at people's shoulders slump every time the shot doesn't fall and gets rebounded by the other team and goes the other way. It's just too much goes the other way with LeBron James on our team. And when we had Russell Westbrook, it was a lot of goes the other way too. We just got to cut down on the pick six type plays, man. I think that's what it is. That's what I have not mentioned on this team enough. Far too often, missed shots and turnovers turn into easy buckets. We have got to become a better transition defensive team if we're going to have players that are just going to happen to turn the ball over 5 and 6 times by default. Okay? That's my thing. I'm big on taking care of the basketball. I love players that don't turn the ball over, and I can't stand teams that don't understand how to defend in transition if they are prone to turning the ball over. Especially when they call themselves the best defensive team in the league. I ain't seeing it. I'm telling you, every single day I hear it. It's a joke to me. We ain't the best defensive team in the league if we have all these different problems, including the fundamental understanding that leaving shooters open is a bad thing. It's a bad thing, man. And there are a lot of guys in this league who are shooters that are not supposed to be able to shoot. This is something that I've been watching for a couple years now, and it's very understood. It's very understood that coaches like Darvin Ham tend to, in an exaggerated way, play off of three-point shooters that supposedly cannot shoot. So you know what these organizations have been doing? They've been teaching these guys how to shoot set shots that are supposed to be in rhythm for when they are left open. They become better three-point shooters than some of the other shooters based on what it is they're practicing, knowing that people are going to do this. This is something that I've understood for about 2 years now. So when I watch Darvin Ham continue to leave people like Torrey Craig and Damian Jones and who else, it's various players that he does this with, I understand what these organizations are doing in response to that, and he ain't figured it out. Stop leaving these people open. They're teaching these guys how to shoot these set shots that you're leaving them open to shoot. That's why you keep getting shot down by these dudes. Does this work very often? Russell Westbrook's hitting these shots every night. It's somebody new. And least of all, it's somebody that we used to have on our team in these cases. So it's like, okay, Russell did it one day, Damian does it another day. Who is it? Who are you leaving over? THT? The next day. It's just like, look, man, you cannot cheat the game in this way. I understand analytics tell us that certain people should be left open. You can leave them open, but don't disrespect them in the process of that. Give them at least a few steps close. Play it as if you have any respect that they're professionals, bro. You wouldn't leave myself open for too long from behind the arc, because eventually I'm going to hit one or two of them. That much space. And I was sitting up laughing about it because I'm like, yo, anybody could beat these Lakers if they're spry enough to jog and shoot the three well enough, because we ain't never going to play you. If we think you can't shoot, we're going to leave you back there to beat us. Go ahead, keep shooting, Grandma. You're going to beat the Lakers because they're not going to guard you, especially if they don't think you can hit the shot. So as long as you can hit the shot, you're open. It's like Darvin. If that's what we're going to try to win a championship on, do you know how fast you're going to be out of the playoffs, brother? You have any idea how fast we're going to be going? Play-in tournament game, it's only one time you get to do that. One time you get to do that. Leaving people like that. And then he does it to people who are not even bad three-point shooters. That's the thing that blows my mind. It blows my mind. And I'm like, do I hold the player accountable for this? Because I've seen Austin Reeves, one of my very favorite players. He does this. He does this. When he's too far away to contest the three, he gonna watch that three-point shooter shoot. Dude could be a 45% three-point shooter. He gonna watch him. And I'm like, yo, get your butt out there. What are we doing? And I look over at the coach, and he's like, I'm like, oh, so that's what you told him to do. It's like, bro, just because you're too far away does not mean you don't give him something to think about. You ever heard of a flash? You flash at the man, you flash the screen, you flash whatever, because you want to give him at least something to jerk their mindset away from the rhythm of what it is they're going to do. If they think you may, maybe they move a little bit so that shot is off. They're non-shooters anyway. They're rhythmic. So what do you think a rhythmic person would need in a situation like that? Well, definitely space and nothing to change in regards to what's going on around them so they can get in that rhythm and shoot it. Flash at the guy. Throw a hand up. I don't care. I don't care what you do, but you have to not watch the guy, especially from 20 feet away from him. I mean, that should be illegal anyway. Where is illegal defense and all of that? Stop letting teams do this, yo. That's what I have to say. As a fan whose team does this and continues to get bitten by it, can we please put in the rules so that coaches like this can't do this anymore? You got to play defense on the perimeter. I don't care who's out there, bro. I don't care if he's Draymond Green. You got to at least be within 7 feet of this man. If you're not within 7 feet of this man, he's going to the line. That's how we got to do this, man, because this is getting ridiculous. Spacing issues, clogging the paint, and still losing because the three-point shooter's hitting the shot. It's like, man, get out of here. Call yourselves competitors. Stop this nonsense. Respect the game and respect the talent around you. So that's what I got to say, man. We're in a space right now, as I talk about the Lakers, where we're losing because of these different things. And as I always tell you guys, I'm not up for losing. So if these are the things that's going to cause us to lose, these are the things we're going to talk about. And at the end of the day, I really don't know what Jeannie's mindset would be in regards to who's in control of this team right now. If she wants to keep Darvin Ham for his sophomore season, it probably is a good look for the team to do that. I'm not up for it. You guys know that, and I'm not going to be sitting here calling for people's jobs every day, but we have to reiterate things that we don't see that we, that need to be here, the excellence and the understanding, the preparation, and the various things that are going to be necessary for teams to have any chance of not only winning, but having the best opportunity to stay healthy. Health is most important for this organization when we sitting people back to back and various things. But if the things that we do still don't lead to them having the best chance of staying healthy, because the people in charge don't understand the concepts of what would be best to keep a person fresh, then you're just going to have things backwards. You got guys all out of position playing against people heavier than them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We can have it in our mind that we're going to be a safety first type organization. But if we have no idea how to be that, it doesn't matter what our intentions are. We're just going to fail. And that is exactly what I'm seeing down there in a lot of situations. They just don't know what we want to do. Talking about resting people back to back and they're still on the floor when the game's out of whack. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. You put him out there and they're back to back and he's still on the floor with 1 minute to go. I mean, these are things that just help you understand that this team is about to back themselves into a situation where your fans are going to be heartbroken because we're going to lose because people don't know no better than to not do stuff like this. You know what I mean? So it's like, no. They still ain't picked up a center. I know Mamba's back, but he just came back from injury. You think he can't go down with one? You think? I mean, it's like, and then you're gonna be left without what you need, leaning on Anthony Davis in the playoffs. You know how people are in the playoffs. That's not, it's gonna be a physical game. He's gonna feel an elbow or two, a little more than usual when people playing for championship. It's just, you just want to make sure you have enough so that you leave yourself no excuses. Instead of having so many excuses about why you ain't good enough, maybe just do the things you can do. Control what you can control. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. That's why I kind of want the team to reset. I'm happy that we've had this glorious core, even though it hasn't really bear the fruits that we thought it would. It's been injuries that have gotten in the way of that. That's a byproduct of what it is that we've chosen. That's not something that's like, oh man, we got unlucky. No, that's what's supposed to happen when you do this. That's the reality of it. That's what it tells you on paper. Yo, you put them two together at this age, you're going to have injury issues 4 out of 5 years. Like, we knew that. That's another. We do understand that we did know how this was supposed to go, right? We did know. Did somebody actually think we was about to win like 5 or 6 championships because we did this? Because that's not what it says on paper. Not at all. I know LeBron James is supposed to be on paper superhuman, but you look at what they have around him, you're going to be leaning on him too much. You look at his age, and you look at Anthony Davis, you're leaning on him too much. I mean, that looked a certain way from the beginning, did it not? That's why I'm so upset that I didn't have this voice back then, because I could have suggested all that leading up to that. I didn't have all that in my head. I got it now, though. Yeah, if you're going to put something like that together, you better make damn sure everybody behind them is strong enough, tough enough, is good enough to play. Otherwise, you're going to lean on them too much, and it's going to go south. Just like every other situation that goes that way. Brooklyn, why did it never work? It's because of this. The benches always sucks. Always. They always suck because you had to lean on the players that they mortgage everything to get. Those players were usually done. You know what I'm saying? They didn't see the correlation. You got to be deep behind those guys so you can keep them healthy. That's what it always comes down to. And people misevaluate talent, thinking they're deep when they're not. And then the guys that get overpaid and can't do nothing for them. Vicious cycle. And everybody gets labeled within that cycle. And it's bad. It's so bad. But we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. We see it clearly. We're going to fix it. That's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? We're going to suggest better. And hopefully in 7 years they can negotiate better into their, whatever it is they're going to do. 6 years. I think it's 6 years they've agreed to. 7th with an option, I guess, there. So, it is what it is. The NBA has to continue to get through this betting era and everything that comes with it. And I just think that I truly believe that we're in a space where people are having the right conversations about this, and we may not see what we're seeing for much longer. Because we got to shame them. We got to shame them in understanding you ain't just making money. You also look bad doing it. No different than any other thing that doesn't look good while you're making money. Some stuff you just don't need to do. And so this is why betting is bad for basketball. I don't know what it is for football. I don't know what it is for other sports. I don't pretend to know. But when it comes to the NBA and how they manage it, yeah, man. You got to put stuff on the floor to make sense. And that's what we want to talk about in regards to our own team. Just make sure Rui gets his minutes. Make sure Troy gets his minutes. Make sure all these young players that we want to see evolve in their status get the minutes that'll help them be what it is that'll make them most valuable to our franchise. And then from there, we can evaluate whether we'll keep them or trade them, but at least we'll have enough to always be able to be in trade possibilities, in having chances to acquire picks, all of these different things. And see, never get too caught up in one superstar or two superstars or this era's superstars when you have an organization to think about for 20-year, 30-year, 40-year span. That's not even the way to look at it. You want to make sure, like I always say, your canvas is clean. All your books straight. You have enough picks. You got enough tradable assets. Your development, all that stuff. Make sure it's in place so that when the next superstar comes, whoever he is, his name is Wembanyama this year, 2 years from now, it's going to be a new kid. And when that kid comes around, you'll be able to acquire his pick. You'll be able to acquire other stuff when they get ready to make moves around him, trying to change the world to fit him. Basically, you start getting involved and getting able to pick your players that you want for the long term in the midst of all of that chaos. And that's how you build your team. You build your team that way. and a team looks up, they're in a small market like Charlotte, but they've accumulated all these good, talented players, and they got such a fantastic development squad around them. To now, superstars are looking their way. Why? Because every time they face that team, they get their butt whooped. That's why. Eventually, you start realizing that's a winner there. All they're missing is me. You know what I mean? And so that's what you want to become. It don't matter where you're at in the league. You could be in the furthest part of the NBA sphere. It still don't matter, because players are gonna come to you if you're good enough to play there. If you're good enough, they'll get there eventually. So that's what I understand. I ain't married to no one superstar. Give me a 16-man roster. That's it. Give me a 16-man roster that all players that are getting better, complement one another. You know, that's it. And then from there, I can get the superstar. Superstar's coming. Because I got everything that anybody would want when it's time to move that guy. And he going to want to move. That's what we've come to understand. The superstar era and what that means, it means I'm not going to sit in a space that ain't winning. And not everybody can control whether or not they win. Even if they do everything correctly, eventually it's going to get to a point where it's like, all right, this guy just wants to move. And when they do, maybe they don't want to come to you. Maybe they don't. But that salary dues, that needs to move around somehow. And that's when you come in and get all the little juicy stuff that people want to give away that they shouldn't be giving away, trying to move that guy. I'm telling you, that's how it's going to continue to move too, no matter what the cap is, no matter how it goes. Move this, type of provision this away, maybe change that process of that away. But at the end of the day, same thing. Basketball first. What makes sense on the floor? What makes sense for the player? What makes sense for your pockets? That's what I understand. And so, there you have it. As a Laker fan, I hope that we are taking these concepts I've been saying for 2 years and putting them into what it is that's going to help us be the best team we can be. And then if players want to be a part of that, they're going to be here. I can see a scenario where LeBron James leaves here, and then in 2 years from now, if he's still rolling, he's going to want to come back if we do everything properly. Why? Because all that stuff that we would have traded him for would be here in some magical form that could still be a contender that he would want to come to. Same thing with Luka Doncic in Dallas. If they do it properly, he'll come back. Why? Because you'll be so damn good, he'll be trying to kick down the door just like everybody else would. I'm telling you. And in the process of that, you may not even want him. Why? Because you got somebody else. you got somebody else better. That's how that happens. That's how that usually goes. And you never know. Maybe you developed them. Maybe you just got him as a pick. So that type of stuff is why I keep my picks. I don't necessarily believe in throwing away picks. I know, Stephen A's running around telling people, New York should have gave away the picks to get Donovan Mitchell. They bet not lose to the Cavaliers. I get it. But again, if you could just get Donovan Mitchell and just bring him to what you are and that be it, cool. Of course, Donovan Mitchell is Donovan Mitchell. But Donovan Mitchell at a certain price, when you extract a bunch of picks and extract a bunch of players and you're left with Donovan Mitchell representing a certain amount of your cap, and now you're looking at what his weaknesses are versus the players around him, and then you look at your bench and that bench ain't no good, and you look at your future and you don't have no future. So it's like, yeah, that's not what you want, Stephen A. Because that's going to lead you to screaming and hollering about why the Knicks suck. Oh, they suck so bad, I can't believe that. It's because you done gave away everything that you had that would have made you flexible to get that superstar that you swear to God is supposed to just change the world for you when you don't have enough to make him that great when you do this. It's like, don't people know how to get what they want? Don't they know how to get a championship? You ain't gonna get no damn championship when you give away 10 years or 5 years worth of future assets for a player. Whatever level, just one person, the one body that can go down with a knee, that can be out for the season. Like, I don't care how talented a player is. It's just one player. And then you consider what pick Donovan was actually drafted at. Wasn't he drafted like 13th? So you're going to give away 5, 6, 7, 8 picks to get a guy who bloomed into being fantastic, but initially was just a 13th pick. Now, granted, not every 13th pick is going to be that good. But if you're drafting well, somebody's going to pass on somebody who's going to be good. And you're going to get the right... Never mind. The value comes because the players are coming into the league one way or another. They're going to land somewhere and they're going to bloom somewhere. There's only 30 places they can go. One of them's you. It's like people act like there's a million teams in the league. No, it's only 30 of them, bro. It's only 30. And so if it were like 80 leagues, 80 teams, we would have a different way of looking at this. But not when it's only 30, bro. You're going to get somebody if you do things properly. Especially if you're the LA Lakers and everybody want to come here anyway. That's why I tell us to reset, because we're like the cream of the crop. If our canvas is clean, everybody of tomorrow going to want to come here together. Just like Bron and AD came here, yeah, so will Zion and Wembanyama or something. You know, they'll want to come here. Still going to be LA. Still going to be purple and gold. Still going to have 17 up there. Still going to have all the jerseys. It's still us. It's like people get caught up in their own moment, though. They make it about them. That's why I want this Knights of the Round Table crap going, because it's like, nah, they ain't. They about their picture. They may see the bigger picture, but they don't care about the bigger picture. They about theirs. And it's like, but theirs is not leading to no excellence. They're not thinking excellent. They just thinking us, whatever we got going on. I'm like, nah, I know excellence. Give me excellence. Let me show you what I know. Let me remind you what Kobe didn't agree with, so people forgot. I mean, so that's what I'm on, man. Talk about these Lakers, exactly what I'm on. We got Timor's a player who's playing well. Give him the ball. Lonnie Walker has scored 30 points like 4 or 5 times this year. Play the man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are things that no one should ever have to utter as a Laker fan who've watched this entire season. We're about to watch 82 tomorrow against the Utah Jazz. Game 82 of the season. We all know who can give us the best chance to win. We see it all. We all see it. We know how good our young rookie Max Christie is. Everybody sees it. We play him now. We ain't gonna play him. You know, we all dream of what a 4 tandem forward center situation looks like when you put AD and Bamba on the floor and then interchange them with Vando and Wenyen. Do you see that? And then at the 3 spot, you got Rui or Bron, Troy. The options are there, man. Big people. You could put Max there at the 3 if you like. Austin at the 3 if you like. The options are there, man. And then the guards. I mean, how many guards do we got? We got 1 million guards. If you want to put something there, those guards can be interchangeable all over the place. I put a different guard in every 3 possessions if I want to. Keep them fresh. But that 4 tandem of the Vando, Bamba, AD, Wenyen, that's sturdy. You keep that at the 5 and 4 at all times. You never ever even think of playing anybody else at the 5 and 4. Everybody else got to feast and famine through the 3, 2, and 1. And you should be able to based on your skill sets, everyone. So what's the problem? Ain't no problem. That's the point. There's no problem. We'll out rebound teams. We'll get easy buckets. I think it might have been Billy Mack last night. I believe it was Bamba who had gotten the offensive rebound tip in. And he said something along the lines of, look how easy the bucket was. Such an easy bucket. I'm like, yeah, look at that. You know how easy it is to score when you're tall and you're close to the rim? But we want to get shorter and further away from the basket. Lesser percentages. Get the struggling guy the ball. All this mediocrity, man. And so, look. That's really what it comes down to. We got one more game to scrap. And then we'll get into the playoffs, hopefully. Hopefully. We'll do the little play-in tournament thing. Hopefully the refs will cheat and give us the win, because they don't want to see the Minnesota Timberwolves in place of us. I'm sorry. If it's us and the Wolves, they're going to give us a bunch of free throws. You're going home. I'm just telling you right now, Carl, you're going home. This just is what it is, bro. No, they cheat. They're going to cheat us in there, hopefully get us in there for ratings, and then we can do work when we get there, hopefully. Hopefully. Y'all think I'm about to lie. I'm telling you right now, after everything I seen this year, there ain't no way they letting the Lakers lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves in a one-game situation. Ain't no way. I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. Now, B.I. and them, I don't know. B.I. and them, it might be different. But the fact of the matter is, Minnesota, y'all better find a way. Y'all better find a way to skip that. Y'all don't want to play the Lakers, put it like that. They ain't got nothing to do with no matchups. You do not want to play the Lakers and play a tournament game. You do better skipping that entirely and trying to, be behind that. So serious. So that's what I have to say, man. I think we got a chance with the playing tournament within today's NBA. But don't underestimate Darvin Ham's rotations, boy. Do not underestimate what he can do against that. And see, many times we get to the line 40 times, 38, 36 times, and we only win by 3. I'm like, how the hell that happened? Rotations. That's why I'm saying one more game of this in playoffs, and I'm like, Jeannie, hope you got your list ready. I do. I got my list ready. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple coaches probably about to get the can. I don't know if they've soured. I don't know what's going on, but I'm looking around. Because we are not doing this. If I'm running things, it's going to be some people gone. I like the roster, but the people at the helm, No, we're not going to do that. We ain't doing small ball no more. We're going to do all those things away with. We're getting rid of all of that. Why? Because we're Lakers and we like to win, and that is loserdom, as I've tell everyone a million times. So that's where I'm at. That is your content for the day, man. I'm going to go eat some food and listen to this content and mull over whether or not I want to give y'all more and talk a little more about the Utah Jazz. It's not a whole lot of homework to do on the Utah Jazz because they're actually playing right now against the Nuggets. And last I checked, the Nuggets were playing their entire starting lineup. So they should be beat up tomorrow, that Utah team going up against us. And that should bode well for our chances of beating them on our home floor. So that's really what it comes down to, man. I'm going to check that score out, maybe see some highlights of that game, see how Utah did. I can tell you right now, the two guys that we were just discovering, Fontecchio and Simonovic, whatever, those dudes were shooting the ball for Utah. So we definitely going to talk about those guys. And just overall respecting the Utah Jazz tomorrow as the last regular season game. We know this team can score very fast. We know they're not afraid of us. And also THT set this game, so I'm curious to see if they're going to sit THT tomorrow. That's going to be very curious. So, yeah, that's what I got for you, man. Thank you guys for allowing me to rehearse the same type of content. But I tell you, man, I don't mind telling people the same thing over and over again if I think it'll be understood. I don't know which video you're going to click on, but I know that this message needs to be understood. So that's what it is. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.